Let's talk games!
You know, I've been working on the Crusader for the last year or so I'm super excited to talk about it today. Crusader is this knight in battle-scarred armor, this holy, righteous warrior. His brand new class, in addition to Reaper of Souls, he brings mid-range melee as a brand new gameplay experience to the battlefield in just this fantastic, brutal way. So the Crusader is descended from the Paladin Order. He has a link to the Zakaram Church, and because of that, we decided to bring forth a couple of the really signature Paladin skills from Diablo 2. Most importantly, the Fist of the Heavens is just incredible. The new version that we have in the game is fantastic. There's also Blessed Hammer, which is a really signature Paladin skill that everyone who played a Paladin in D2 knows and loves, and we had to do it justice and bring it forth. The console is an interesting beast on its own because you're dealing with 4-player, couch kind of gameplay. So some of the changes specifically that they make are more about adding rumble to the controller, making sure that the skills, the targeting of the skills is a little bit more easier given the controller. From an actual base mechanics, like just pure numbers perspective, there really isn't that many changes. The core games are very similar.
We do bring, camera comes in a lot tighter on the console, and having that direct control, especially with a melee class, it's super cool, because you feel like you're controlling that character in the middle of your, battle with the mob. So adventure mode is essentially our answer for in-game for everyone. Now, when you go into the game, you'll be able to, first you click on adventure mode, you open up a map that is all of Sanctuary. So you can go to, whatever act you want. Let's say you want to go to Chaldeum, you'll see it on the map. You'll see a bounty associated with it. Click on that waypoint and boom, we generate a dungeon for you using that tile set. But we actually do a lot of interesting mob combinations that you won't have seen anywhere else. And at the end of it, of course, there's fat loot. You can play it any way you want. Essentially, you can play through linear story all the way up through Act 5, or if you want to take a break and do a few adventure mode bounties, you can do that. Or if you want to just jump right into adventure mode and play that through, you can actually level up that way too.
Yeah, the great thing about adventure mode is it brings a whole new way of playing the game to Diablo 3. For people who love the story, they can still engage fully in that. But if you're a little bit tired of repeating those same quests again and again, you can jump into adventure mode, start hammering through some bounties, destroy some Nephilim Riffs, and just get epic loot out of the experience.
Adventure mode, there's another component too, which we open up Nephilim Riffs, which essentially, once you've earned your way into a Nephilim Rift, will again generate a random dungeon. You'll be hit with a swarm of monsters and try to survive through that. So that's a lot of excitement. We also opened up our Paragon, so with Paragon 2.0, it's literally infinite. And as you gain a Paragon level, you can actually decide how you want to level up your character. I play Barb. Once I hit my next Paragon level, I can actually pump up my strength.
And of course, we can't forget loot. With Reaper of Souls, we're introducing Loot 2.0. It's like a whole new way of looking at the items and finding interesting itemization. A lot of the things that we've addressed are like changing skills as you level up. As you start finding items in the world, you're going to see increases, damage to Blessed Hammer. So if you weren't currently using Blessed Hammer, you're using Fist of the Heavens, you kind of go, maybe I'll try Blessed Hammer. That's really interesting. You have all these skills, all these runes. It's a great way of encouraging players to explore those options.
In doing the PlayStation 3 version, we learned a lot about, the console playing on the same couch. And, fundamentally, whether you're on console or whether you're on PC, the game is about playing with other people. And so the moves that we've made with Reaper of Souls have been to encourage that on both console and PC. Because the console lagged behind the PC to some degree, we were able to kind of observe that, see how people were reacting to absence of auction house, having a little bit more generous loot, having more legendaries drop. And we actually limited some of the, the white items, the junk items, and instead give you more gold. Console players really love that, and I think those philosophies kind of bled into what we did with Loot 2.0 and the new itemization you're going to see in Reaper of Souls.
Yeah, absolutely. I think another thing that we're bringing to the PC players that they'll really enjoy is the new social features, like clans and groups. That's actually something that the PS4 doesn't have, so that's why they went down this route of encouraging more social interaction through actually interesting gameplay in the game itself. The great thing about having two SKUs like this is the console versions can really pioneer some of the stuff that we might not be ready to explore yet, but then if it's going to work for us, we would definitely integrate that into the base game for the PC.
Yeah, and just so we're clear, it's all one team. It's not like we have a separate console division or anything. So we're all sitting right next to each other. When the console guys come up with a great idea, usually the guys on the PC side will be more than happy to pilfer it if it makes sense.
We're all on the same emailing lists.
Our plan is to bring Diablo to platform of choice for our players. You know, for the longest time we've been on the PC. That's where the core has been. We also recognize that it's a great game for the console. We've kind of expanded into that for people that like and prefer to play on console. But our intent is to always keep the storylines and the games as consistent as we can, recognizing that because platform choice also involves an interface, we want the game to feel natural for that interface. So there are going to be, you know, subtle differences between the platforms so we can take advantage of those interfaces.
Yeah, I think like Mike said in the opening ceremony, the goal for Diablo 3 is to bring epic monster slaying and loot to all players. And I don't think that needs to make the game different for different experiences, whether it be console or PC. The great thing about that core value is, and the fact that the core game is all about that, is that works in great ways on both systems.